Welcome to Hustle System. My name is Mikhail and I help people master their mindset, build a better business, and help you live your life on your terms. In this video, we're going to be breaking down the money mindset differences between poor people and rich people and what they do differently, including giving you a cool little flow chart that you could follow to kind of reset your mindset. It's going to be awesome. Before we dig in, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you're already subscribed, please click the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload more awesome videos. I appreciate you. Let's dig on in. So when it comes to more limited mindsets, when it comes to money, what I find is the scarcity mindset becomes self-perpetuating. And here's what happens. If you look at it from a flowchart perspective, okay, money comes in, right? You go and you make the money, right? You take your time and you make the money from the time. And it's an exchange, right? When you first start, it's almost always an exchange in some capacity. You're maybe at a job or you're whatever it is that you're doing. You're trading your time for your money. That's the first step to shifting your mindset, because I don't know very many truly rich people over here that are willing to actually trade any sort of large quantity of their time for almost any quantity of money. So if something does not serve their experience and their use of time, they tend to not pursue it. Now, from the limited mindset, that's perceived as a privileged thing. Oh, they're rich, so they're privileged and they're able to do that. But what I actually find is in order to become rich, you actually have to shift your mindset away from I'm trading minutes for dollars and into how can I trade minutes for something else that then I can trade for dollars, or how can I exponentially increase the output of myself and of my team to get more out of it. And we'll talk about time leverage in a different video, which is also a very, very powerful component that will help you with this. So that's the first one, is decoupling the time equals money paradigm is one of the biggest components. Like I got a message the other day and it was like, hey, how much do you charge hourly for a copywriting review? And I'm like, dude, I don't know, like $10,000. Like, I don't know. It's a lot. like, I don't know if I want to do it at all. And so, and I didn't used to have that, right? And I'm still not perfect. I'm not like some investment banker with billions of dollars, but it already shows that my mindset is shifting more towards how can I provide more value? Is there a way that instead of doing that copy review, that I can create something that can provide value for not just one person, but for hundreds of people. And that becomes very, very powerful. So that's the first one, decoupling the time to money myth. The second is how they think about their cash flow. So irrespective of where it comes from, you have some money come in. Let's say you have $1,000 come in, okay? Well, the way that more limited mindset people think about it is, number one, they cover basic needs, and number two is they get what they want. And sometimes actually they get what they want before covering basic needs. So super limited mindset is they get what they want, don't have enough to cover basic needs, and then have to take out loans to cover basic needs, putting themselves further and further and further and further into a mountain of debt. And that's a downward spiral that's very, very difficult to escape. So you want to avoid that. If you're already in that downward spiral, comment down below. Maybe we'll make a special video for you how to break out of the downward spiral of debt, especially student loan debt. There are ways to break out of it. However, you have to have a very, very aggressive mindset and move very, very quickly and be very proactive rather than reactive. But that's something we can get into a separate video. So that's the first idea is they get the money and then they're like, okay, what is the stuff that I want? Whereas rich people, they only cover basic needs and then it goes somewhere else. So the way that the flow is going to go here is going to be like this. You have the money coming in, okay? And over here on the limited side, the money comes in and then it's wants first. Usually it's like, I want to go to the club. It doesn't matter if I can pay rent. I'll figure it out. So they go to the club. Then the needs come up and those are really, really urgent. And so then you have the needs. So you have the wants and then you have the needs, right? Like take you should really be getting a nicer house, but like instead you're going out to like fancy dinners or whatever, right? Or you should be saving, etc. So it goes wants, then needs, then you have experiences usually. So it's wants, needs, experiences, and then you maybe have investment, and then you maybe have some sort of self-improvement or team investment type of dynamic. So in the limited mindset, again, this is the limited mindset. This is how poor people think is, I want that thing, shiny object syndrome. I'm gonna go get that thing. Okay, I got the thing. Oh, I have needs. okay, I got to cover those needs. I also want to go to Disneyland. I'm going to go to Disneyland. They go to Disneyland, and then they're like, and they come back, and they probably have no money left at that point, if not negative money left at that point, and there's nothing left for savings or for investments, or for there's two types of investments. There's kind of like the more traditional, where you invest in a stocks, bonds, whatever sort of asset class that you want to pick there. And then there's a secondary investment type, which is investing into a team or into a product, into an actual business that you build. And I kind of separate those two. So again, limited mindset is wants, needs, experiences, then everything else. And it was I used to kind of have that, and then I shifted like the needs up, and I started shifting it around and saying, okay, what works best? And so I've kind of shuffled that idea around, and from talking to many people that are far wealthier than I am even, I've started to kind of break down like how do you think about money? When I talk to someone who is rather wealthy, how do you think about money? And their approach is very fascinating, because you would think like they would put needs first. They actually don't. The way that a wealthy person thinks about money, we think it's money map. So like the money comes in, and it's actually the two investment types that I talked about first. So the very first one is investment that is high ROI and potentially high risk. And that is building a team, building a company, building a product. So if they have money coming in from their business, the very first thought is, how can I put more of this money back into my business? Okay, what is the maximum amount that I can put back into my business to make it grow faster? Because if you are someone who is skilled, and not just technically skilled, but skilled in management, skilled in understanding people, skilled in delivering products, skilled in marketing, you should be able to get a good return on your investment if you are investing back into yourself and into your team and into your business systems that are then going to allow you to create more value and create, instead of a downward spiral over here, create an upward spiral over here. Okay, so that's the first. The second type of investment is they look into putting money into their retirement accounts, their SEP IRAs, their traditional IRAs, their deferred 401ks, their stock portfolio, their whatever asset classes they're running, their REITs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So right away when the money comes in, they're not thinking basics. They're not thinking, what do I want? They're thinking, how can I make a bigger impact, and how can I provide more value? And then second is, how can I make that money grow for me? Right? They think of it as like a seed that you plant, and they know that seed's not going to bear fruit for a little while, but they know that from that tiny little seed that they plant, they're going to get a lot of fruit later, and it's worth it for them. So that's the kind of the team investments and the company investments, and then you have the traditional investments, and then third over here is the needs. So they don't even put the needs first. They put the needs like third, right? And that's pretty cool. And so what ends up happening is, how much can I invest? How much can I invest? What are my basic needs? And the really smart ones actually put savings above. I kind of put savings into that traditional investment category, because I feel like if you're investing in a low risk asset class, it's about the same as savings. So you could treat it about the same. And then below that, you have the needs. So that's what's the lowest amount of needs expenses that I can have, so that I can put the maximum amount into these other categories. So to actually pull back on their lifestyle and a lot of these other things that other people that want to be flashy kind of do. Look at like Warren Buffett, for example, is a perfect example of this. Bill Gates, perfect example of this. Almost every hyper wealthy individual is actually a perfect example of this. Like Elon Musk is actually a good example as well, even though he's got all the nice things. In proportion to what he invests into his business, it's staggering how much he invests into his business relative to how much he spends himself on whatever he buys, right? So that's business investments, standard investments / savings, then needs. Then they don't even have wants, then they have experiences. And then they have wants. So the way that you're thinking about money, if you're kind of over here or somewhere in the middle, is flawed. I know, because it was flawed for me. And I had this moment where I was like walking around my house, and I realized I had all the stuff I wanted. I had all the shirts, I had like the Wi-Fi router, speeder upper stuff. I had like all the new Apple stuff. I got cool stuff, and lots, like maybe more books and like more guitars. That's kind of like what I could think of getting in. I remember going on Amazon. I'm like, there's got to be something I want, and I was like, I couldn't find anything. There was nothing on Amazon that I wanted. There was nothing that filled that void of like needing to consume. And that was the day that my mindset kind of started to shift. And like, well, what else can I spend money on? I could grow my business faster. Why don't I just focus on that? And since then, it's almost become kind of like an obsession to focus more on the business and on the investment side first. And as soon as I started to do that, honestly, I found so much more abundance in my life. It has been crazy. It has been absolutely crazy seeing just the grounded nature of knowing, oh, in a worst case scenario, not even that bad. My worst case scenario is better than the average person's like good scenario. And I find, you know, when you look at the super rich, you notice how they're not worried about money, right? Whereas someone from a scarcity mindset is very worried about money. It's because they don't have enough, whereas they have done the things that they need to do and they know where they're allocating. They know where their priorities lie. And so the way that they view it is, if their money gets cut, well, they cut back on the wants a little bit and the experiences a little bit. They don't have to cut back on the things that are truly important. Whereas over here, you know, they don't have enough to even survive. And so you're probably watching this, probably thinking like, well, I don't have enough money to save or invest at all. Well, there's going to be, you know, a separate video that we'll do on how to acquire skills faster, particularly high income skills. And that's going to be a very, very important video. So when I film that one, we'll link that video to this video at around here somewhere. And yeah, that will help you kind of dial into start earning more, become a linchpin in your company, all these awesome things. But in this video, I just really wanted to break down for you the number one and number two differences. Number one is decouple that time to money myth, because time is not money. They say time is money. No, nonsense. Because guess what? If you run out of money, all you got is time. You still got time. And you know what? If you're out of time, you can't just make more money. So time is not money at all. And it's a silly phrase, and it's almost does a disservice, right? To you can leverage your time to make more money. So just something to kind of think about. Decouple your time from your money, and then think about when, you know, $100 or $1,000 or $10,000 comes in. What is your first order of priority? Is it to go get the new shiny thing that you want? Or is it to say, wait a minute, I could be using this as a tool to provide more value in the marketplace. I could be using this as a seed in order to plant for it to grow and for it to bear fruits later. I could be using this in order to actually grow more money in the future. And then from there, you can cover your basic needs. And then if you want to have some awesome experiences, what's really cool about that is now when you're going to have that awesome experience, you're going on that cool vacation, you're doing your, you know, little travel influencer Instagram post. Now you've got money for your team to rock it. You've got money in your investments to rock it. You've taken care of all your basic needs. And honestly, by the time that you get through that to the experiences and you've had the experience, you're going to realize that your list of wants is actually not even that crazy. You're going to realize that the things that you thought you wanted, you never really wanted in the first place. And that the experiences and the power of making an impact in the world is so much more powerful than anything you could physically own, that's going to become the new thrill for you. So that's what I want to see for you. I appreciate you. This has been Mikhail with Hustle System, where I show people how to master the mindset, build a better business, and show you how to live your life on your terms. Hopefully you found this video helpful. You might want to revisit it. You might want to download the PDF freebie mind map of, you know, scarcity versus abundant mindset when it comes to money. We will have that provided for you down below. It's going to be awesome. I hope to see you on the next video. And if you haven't already, again, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please click the notification bell. It really means a lot to me. I do these for you to help you transform your life. It's been Mikhail. I'll see you in the next one.